Ready for you.
Oh, yeah. Troy was telling David about how...
President of the Fair Board.
Yeah. You guys didn't want him on the Fair Board because he owes property taxes, and we were wondering what that has to do with a volunteer position.
Well, we just think somebody that owes the county tax dollars, we don't want them making decisions how to spend tax dollars.
But it's not like he's getting paid to do anything. It's volunteer, and as hard as it is to get volunteers to do anything, I think, you know, you would appreciate, especially him owing, that he would want to work to help the county.
Well, my feeling is that if everybody didn't pay their taxes, we wouldn't have a county fair.
Well, I know that, but...
Well, that's kind of where I stand.
Uh-huh. Is that how you feel, too? That
we're in agreement, all three of us.
Okay. So, does everybody that asked to be on Fair Board or volunteers to help get their financial history or whatever scrutinized also?
Well, there's a difference between being a volunteer and being appointed to a Fair Board. We are responsible to appoint individuals to represent the county on how they spend taxpayer dollars. And we just felt that that is not correct or is not fair to people that are current on their taxes and have paid their taxes.
Okay.
So it's very interesting that you commissioners tell the Fair Board what to do, correct?
They represent our interest in the county.
But you've told them they can't have a beer garden. Okay. Last year, a gentleman that owed taxes, you allowed the Fair Board to pay him to run an event.
Okay, and we're unaware of that.
Well, you should.
Well, that's why I'm asking, do you check everybody, or is it just us that...
It depends by case. Before recently, the Fair Board were appointing their own members without even consulting the commissioners.
Uh-huh.
So within the last couple of months, this has came around that that's not the correct way to do it.
But it is correct to pay somebody that owes taxes to the county to run an event, but it's not okay to have somebody volunteer.
We don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Well, you'll have to research that.
It's just, you know, what's good for one person should be good for the other.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And he wasn't asking for pay to be on the Fair Board. He just wanted to help because he's got knowledge on running demo derbies and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's what our question was why was somebody paid to help run an event when they owe taxes also?
And there again, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
You check everybody's financial status
Okay, so I guess
to
that's...
determine the ability to serve the county.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering. Okay.
Okay, then the other thing we wanted to talk about was our property taxes. We have enough money to pay our taxes, but we don't have enough to pay the penalties and interest. And I know the commissioners in the past have waived the penalties and interest for people. And we were asking if that could be done for us so we could get our taxes caught up and paid off. We have sold everything we can to get to this point, and between now and a tax sale, there's no way we can come up with $7,000 or $8,000 more dollars. I don't know how much it is.
Interest and penalties.
Yeah.
That's a question best answered by the county attorney.
And Jenny and I have had this conversation in regards to the penalties and interest, and those cannot be abated. If you look at KSA 792803, that is the redemption statute for redeeming property that is subject to a judicial tax foreclosure sale. And in that statute, it states that in order to redeem, you have to pay the back taxes, the penalties, interest, and the costs of the action. And there is a formula in that statute if the court hasn't already ordered a certain amount for each parcel for its share of the costs, how to figure that amount, and it includes the penalties and interest. And so you can't abate the penalties and interest.
But my feeling is, and I don't know the legalities of stuff, is that the commissioners basically have told you to do this tax sale. You have included who you wanted or who the commissioners have told you, because you have like this 3-year cutoff. If you're only 3 years behind on your taxes, then you're not involved in the tax sale. I don't know how you guys arrived at that 3-year point and not made it a 5-year or a 10-year.
It's by statute.
But you can also, I'm sure, as with any lawsuit or legal case, you can drop a person out of that suit. You could drop us out of your tax sale suit and let us pay what we have, get all caught up, and go on from there.
That is not fair.
Well, we'll just.
It's not equitable to the others who remain subject to the tax sale. What we have to do is we have to follow the statute. And the statutes dictate how far back we have to,
Okay,
I mean, how long
I'm not saying,
how long you have to be delinquent.
okay,
to be
but you
subject
could do
to-
that if you wanted to.
No, I
I
can't.
think you should look
I
at
can't.
everybody's case on an individual basis.
I can't. We have to treat everyone the same.
Okay, so if everybody pays their taxes except us, you're having a tax sale just for us.
I'm doing one every year. And if you or anyone meets the criteria where they are delinquent for a certain period of time per the statute, which is 3 years, they are on the tax sale, because everyone is treated the same in regards to real estate taxes and being delinquent, period.
And you don't look at individual cases on what caused it. It's not like we said, oh, we don't want to pay taxes and we're not going to. It's David's had 3 heart attacks, and medical situations put you back, and it's hard to catch up.
Unfortunately, when it gets to this point, this is the way it is.
And you'd rather have a citizen lose their home than to work with them.
Basically, that's what it's come to. You guys
That's
are
how my
going to take.
feeling is.
You're going to take my home. Another thing too, my son owns that house, and I don't know how it never got changed. But the U.S. Marshal should have changed it, or somebody should have. My son owns that house, so you don't have your facts straight on who owns what. So he may have to get an attorney.
Yeah, that's basically what we had to ask. So,
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much. DJ Kelly is here. Kelly, would you like to?
Yeah, sure.
Would you like to come up? And, Thank you.
Roger. I'll get it right here. There's 2 of them there. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, before I read the volumes for May, I just want to let you know that we just wrote a check for Medicare, $821,715 that we had to make for what they viewed as they overpaid us in 2017. You've probably heard the stories before, but that's probably been about one of the biggest checks we've had to write in a long time here.
And that's
for
just
that
based on
situation.
volume and patient care.
Based on volume, because 2 years ago the volume was so low. So what they try to do, they try to balance things out. So then they raise what you get per encounter fairly much, and then we had a really good year with volume last year. So then that kind of takes things back the other way. So hopefully this coming year they'll owe us some money back. So now they have not changed the rates yet, which I'm kind of surprised because typically they'll really lower the rate, and that'll kind of put you in a difficult position for a little while longer. So, but I just wanted to make you aware of what we had to do there. So volumes for May. Outpatients are 2,916. We had 15 inpatients, 63 ER visits. Rural Health Clinic had 633 patients. We had 11 surgeries, 72 through the specialty clinics. The average acute length of stay was 3 days. The average length of stay for a swing bed was 6.18. Acute daily average census was 1.19. The swing bed average daily census was 2.37 for the period. So, just an update on the doctor. I called the Kansas Board of Healing Arts. They had the application review on the 8th. And they told me at that time it'd be 20 to 30 days before they would release the information on the status of his application. So it's going to be probably the second week in July before we're aware of what happened at that meeting. Yeah. So, but just an FYI for y'all. So.
Okay. A question for you referenced the heart and stroke
Yes.
thing, and the ladies up there that are involved with this are kind of getting antsy.
Yeah.
They don't know where it's going or what's up, and I kind of let them know yesterday that we both wanted an audit for those programs, and that was completed this week.
It wasn't completed, but they looked. We presented our information, told them what we're looking at, and they didn't think it'd be that big of a deal. So they're going to come back with send me a quote to do that audit, and then
And that's basically what I told them. I
shouldn't take too
said, no decisions are really going to be made until this audit is completed, and both sides are satisfied with it. So,
Okay.
if you agree with that philosophy,
Yes, I
they're
do.
kind of chomping at the bit, wanting some answers, and I basically told them we didn't have any at this point in time.
And I'm sure they are. I mean, it's a difficult kind of time for them. But, again, we talked about this, that, that would be a good fit within, our program through the clinic. So, but, no, I just look forward to getting those numbers back and getting that all straightened
good.
out. So, yeah.
One thing I did urge them is, once this process is completed, to come in, get on the agenda. We'll invite you, and we'll sit down and have a discussion on what direction we're going.
Sounds good.
So they'll work out of the clinic.
That's my plan, Roger, for them to work out the clinic at that time if everything works out the way I think it will. So, yeah.
All right, well, there again, until we can get these numbers finalized, we'll just kind of keep it on the table.
Sounds good.
All right, Kelly.
All right, Terry, thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody have a nice weekend.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Terry, I'm sorry to ask, but for my clarification, you were talking about heart stroke, you were talking about the gals that are in the, what is the name of that?
EMS.
But it's-
Heart and stroke.
But it's a separate portion of it, it's what Tammy's
Right,
doing.
it's heart and stroke and rural
I'll get it,
health.
I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, we've been talking about it on and off for
Yes,
quite a while,
yes.
and we kind of discovered that we were the only county that was running these programs out of the EMS. Everywhere else that ran out of a hospital, which to us, they have the expertise and the knowledge and the right kind of direction, because we do not possess that. So it made more sense for the hospital to adopt these programs.
I have a little other connection to that program, and it's a good program, but I would like to see it.
Well, and that's another thing, we wanted to make sure it was going to be
Hospital
funded.
thinks they can extend what its
Yes.
life is.
Because one of the life of the grant is expired. I mean, it's over,
Yeah.
and we just don't have the means to. DJ, don't sit down, buddy. You're up.
I'm up.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Yeah.
this is the tree removal we're already involved in.
Yes.
What basically they're looking for, the same amount of money as we put into it last
Well,
year?
it's not cash, it's in kind, it's just my labor and time to do a little bit of management.
Okay.
But they're done. Ducks Unlimited approached me since I did not get that NACA grant a year ago. We still have all that contributing money, which is on the second page there. And they're wanting to take over the whole deal.
Ducks Unlimited, right?
Yes. And because they're applying for $1.8 million NACA grant, to the large grant instead of the standard grant. And they want to take us on as their little side, their project to get our work done, where they're just asking for a contribution of the $5,000 in kind for my management time, just to manage a contractor and send paperwork to them. The liability, financial, everything. The contractor they hire, which will be a forestry service, to do the work instead of a one-man operation.
So I'm sensing you're kind of in favor of that.
Well, I am. I think it'd be wonderful for our community to continue on cleaning out the Russian olive and tamarisk trees throughout the river. There is still 15 more landowners very interested in being part of the project. But I'm here to ask today if you will grant me permission to do the $5,000 in kind contribution to Ducks Unlimited.
What did Ducks Unlimited, do they want anything in return?
No, they just want to, they
just want to improve
yeah,
the
they want to
habitat.
improve. They like what we've been trying to do, and they understand that I can't get the financial backing by myself. And they're working with Kevin Clegg, the district wildlife biologist in Colby, to get this set up so they can say they're a partner to us, but they're taking control of getting our project done. And I don't have to know about this right now today. You guys have time to think about it. I just need to know by the end of the month. By the next meeting.
It looks like the next meeting will be on the 29th.
So how many hours do you expect to spend doing this?
And this is a 2-year deal. 55 hours total. I won't have very much to do with it except send a few emails back and forth and make sure the landowner meets with the contractor. We did this here 2 years ago, and 2 years ago, and I have not quite met that 5,000 in kind, but they said it's a close enough labor to what I've done to say that I've done my contribution. Because all I'd be doing is, this is my labor to run around for an hour or two with contractors and send paperwork, and just total up time over time to say I've reached that 5,000.
So we're not going to send 5,000 to them.
No.
We're going to spend 5,000 in labor.
In labor, yeah.
And they're expecting the landlords will be spending 10,000 per landlord? or?
That may change, because Ducks Unlimited will have a whole other contract of their own, but we haven't seen it yet. They're just now starting to apply for this grant. And they're asking for all the numbers I have on the back is to give that to them for contribution, so they can build up their backing.
So this is going to be a Ducks Unlimited project?
Yes.
But we're going to have to commit before we see their contract?
Mm-hmm. I tried to get a hold of him yesterday, and I could not get a hold of anybody. Because I have other questions on this too myself. Because like the full restore match down on the bottom of the grant activity, that $127,500, that may be more. Given, I'd say given to us, but it would be just, work spent for the landowners here.
And you have, I know you said you had some landowners interested. You have
Yes.
They're pretty solid. I mean,
Yes, they're very solid, but I got to see this new what their contribution will be and what their new contract will be. So it throws it up in the air again.
yeah.
So this first one was, that was mainly run through the wildlife parks.
Yes,
So they've turned it over to the
yes.
Duck Run Limited.
Yes, Dave Fleming was on that first knock here, trying to finish up our river walk, which is in progress still, and we are getting close. I'm guessing 30 days it'll be cleaned up.
Done.
And they're figuring they're gonna do 700 acres. That's not many acres. Is it?
Not really, no.
If you figure along the river.
Yeah, you figure a mile wide of the river long, yeah, you're gonna get 5 miles of the river, which we have landowners stretching from about my property north to the Nebraska line interested still.
In Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks, they're still backing,
Yes, they're gonna.
other than,
Yeah, they'll put $10,000 cash toward this and $5,000 in kind for Kevin to help manage it with me. And the Kansas Department of Ag and the Conservation District also gave us $25,000 cash. But that's just putting it out there for you guys to think about it. Like I said, I need a decision today.
well, I think with this many entities contributing to it, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't participate in it.
Because this would eliminate the contract like we have between the county and the contractor, takes all of that off of us, that is all
Yeah,
on
that
them.
put it right back on the Ducks Unlimited.
Mhm.
And
I
Kansas
don't,
Department of Wildlife and Parks.
that's correct, and I won't have to have liability contracts with landowners as well, that'll also be theirs. For any damages or mishaps or machinery, it is not on us at all.
If it loosens our liabilities, I think we ought to.
And that's why I wanted to pursue this. If it just means I throw some labor out there, which is already in the budget, guys, that I do. It's just, I spend 3-4 hours here at a time in random spots, mainly in the fall when I have more time.
Well, I don't have a problem if we don't ever come up with 5,000 cash. When you're looking at it 1 week, basically.
Yeah, I kept track. I keep track, but on this, I won't. They can't audit me on it.
Yeah.
Or with the first NACA grant, they were able to audit us, which we kept track of every man hour to date.
What do you bill them an hour?
I do not know. I'll have to ask Dave. He had all that paperwork. And it could be at any number. You guys say it's $50 an hour, and they don't bat an eye at it.
Well, $50 an hour is not very much if you're taking a vehicle and running around somewhere and driving up and down the river and taking landlords.
I don't have a problem with it personally. Roger?
You know, I don't have a problem with it, but get a little concerned that we spend tax dollars to clean up private land. But this year, we're really not, I mean, we are, but not very darn much.
We're just part of the process to.
Right.
Yes, we'll just be
Right.
part of the contributing partner.
In the fact that any landowner that has this problem can.
Yes.
Can apply for
Well,
it.
we have a major problem on it up there, but ours is cedars.
Yep, which we are removing some of them, mainly the female trees. But if a landowner wishes to have all the eastern cedars removed, that can happen too. They don't have a problem with that.
Leslie, do you see any problems?
I don't. I think this would be a benefit for the community. Yeah, Colin, thank you.
And then Leslie, it'd be my signature on here. Is there a problem with that? Since
You're
it'd
the
be-
director.
Okay.
If we could get more water to flow down the river, that'd be a good deal. And I think it would help that, the flow of water.
All right, the river is flowing pretty strong right now. I have one other thing to bring to you guys. Unit 24, the dually pickup, has been broke down for
I think you guys need to make a motion
Oh,
on the
yeah,
in-kind.
Okay.
I agree, yes.
Oh, okay, I do. I so move.
I'll second the proposal to support the North American Wetlands Conservation Act proposal. It's a partner contribution statement. There are a number of matching partners, landowners, Cheyenne County Noxious Weed, Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks, Kansas Department of Agriculture, National Wild Turkey Federation, Ducks Unlimited, and Cheyenne County Wildlife, Inc. So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So, go ahead and pursue that, DJ.
Thank you.
Now,
All right, Unit 24, the dually road spray pickup, has been broke down for over a week. I've got 2 mechanics working on it. It is at Yoast right now because all the injectors are out. Well, it started out, the lift pump went out, the electronic fuel control module, I spent $1,200 there. And then we found, with all that going out, it took the injectors with it. It's at Yoast. And I got a quote from them today. It's going to be $1,865 to $2,000 for the repair.
Are you looking at Ed?
yeah, what do you got to say about it? Kind of miss it. Yeah, it's something we got to do, so
I just had to make sure you approve it.
don't think we
What
have
year
to.
is that?
2004.
6-0.
Yes.
Can't believe it. 6-0s are not a good engine.
No. It's got 170,000 miles on it. It's not, not a spring chicken, but it isn't completely worn out. It is still been a very good
Those
pickup for
6-0s
us.
don't go much further.
Well, this investment versus a new vehicle makes much more sense if we can get some more life out of it.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead and get it done.
Thank you. I don't have anything else.
All right, thanks, DJ.
Appreciate it. Have a good day.
Brian? We're ready for you.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
First thing is, I have a transfer of funds. Dolores and I met last week and finalized all of our grant stuff. And part of the performance grant is it reimburses some of our personnel costs. And so that money is sitting in the EM grant right now, and that is to transfer it over to the personnel to finalize the 17 funds. So it's a little later this year, but the check just came from the state at the end of May. So and we got the grant to balance, so we're at a 0. So
Amen.
So do you need a motion to approve the transfer of funds?
Yes.
I so move that we transfer $4,379.89. You don't even know where we're moving it to. It's a grant fund to the general.
To the emergency management to reimburse expenses.
Okay, I'll second that motion. All those in favor? Aye.
I think I need to see.
Yeah, so Roger, you didn't sign it? No.
These are unofficial, so do I give them to the newspaper?
It's up to you. Just make sure it's clear it's unofficial.
It's unofficial. So I just printed this off to kind of go over with you guys in preparation for the audit. So in 2017, you can see there we had some remaining funds in the emergency management, which we talked about moving those over to help build up our reserve account again. So I just kind of outlined the remaining funds, plus in the transfer you just approved will go in there. So that'll increase that number a little bit. And then I just put there, we have 2,000 budgeted. So 21,000 will be the unbudgeted amount. And then just for your guys' information, I kind of broke down the personnel costs for emergency management there. So you can see what all we have in there, and then the money that comes in through different avenues. And so then at the end, the personnel cost for Jenny and myself, on call 365 is 24,000 to Cheyenne County. So just kind of to break it down, so
Okay.
makes it maybe a little bit more understandable. So
That's what we're looking for.
I know it gets confusing because I work in 3 different counties and all that, but that's why it lowers the cost to Cheyenne County. So.
We feel we can trust you with your numbers, so.
And then we'll be going through the audit, and then Dolores said that transfer, then after the audit is complete, then we'll do that transfer.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
We don't need a motion to transfer this yet?
No, that's just kind of for your information ahead of time, so. And then, 5 minutes? 10? Executive session for non-elected personnel.
Okay, I'll make a motion of 10 minutes of executive session for non-elected personnel.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.